Previously on Rivenel.
Show us that bump in the dress. Oh, whoa, look at that. It sends a little flame. I mean, it's just fun. Start of the compost. We'll catch up with you and get you caught up on the trim and all that stuff here in the future. But today was a wildly productive day. So at least hit the thumbs up button for that. Oh boy. Oh man. Good morning, everyone. It's a lovely day at the house here. Last night, I actually went out and did one more attempt to try to get our woodchuck friend by loading up the cantaloupe, and Have a Heart says that apparently cantaloupe is a good way to catch them. And check out those scratch up marks. We actually end up catching a raccoon. We were noticing that whenever we put our cantaloupe out, it would normally sit there during the day, but it would disappear overnight. And so if it did that again tonight, I was gonna put out a camera, but I don't think there's any need. They actually, I was actually just more concerned of getting him out of the trap. He was cute and very calm, so I just let him out. But I forgot to grab the camera just because I was trying to get him out. So we'll get that thing cleaned up, set up. Maybe we'll try some lettuce or something. Have you guys had any success with anything in particular? I'd really like to use the Have a Hearts and not have to go to anything like conibears or whatnot, but they are being very destructive and we got to get this figured out. I am getting ready to head into the office, so just wanted to come out here, did some chores earlier, and now just getting ready to head in, but I'll catch up with you guys a little bit later. All right, welcome back, everyone. I'm clearly out of work now, and still working. All the spackling has dried now down here in the office. So now I'm just going through and just sanding all the nail holes, sanding all the doorways. I'm pretty happy the way these turned out. So I just sanded, filled all those gaps. You know, still got a little bit more to sand right here, but you can see it's not too bad. It looks pretty darn even. All right, done with that. We're doing small, manageable chunks today. So that means I got all of the trim sanded, all of that bit. What I'll do for the rest of today now is probably just try to get this room cleaned up, and then if I'm feeling up to it, we can caulk, but that's gonna take a few hours for sure. So just wanna show you a couple bits. So at the miters, I definitely filled all of those and then sanded those. So you can make sure you get a seamless kind of seam. But obviously once you get that primed and painted, it'll look like one continuous piece. The caulk will be obviously going between everywhere in the walls. When you're doing trim, caulk is probably your best friend because it hides a lot of the imperfections. Just keep that in mind. I forgot to mention, Allison right now is actually upstairs. Since I was sanding and making a bunch of noise, she's up there taking her calls. I don't know if you guys knew that, or just a reminder, Allison still works on Pacific time, so the company she works for still is based in Portland, which is awesome that she gets to do that. So she gets to start late in the morning, which is nice, but unfortunately has to work late into the evenings most weekdays. So thus is now one of those times. The other thing worth mentioning is that I don't really let Allison do a lot of the stuff with the dust, just because she's pregnant and she's got allergies and things like that. So that's why it's only me today. Actually, just threw my hat on. Wanted to run out here real fast because I wanted to show you something else that I'm working on. This is my back gate area, and back here is, how do I start? Back here is where I threw, thorns. Back here is when I cleaned out a number of the kind of shrub areas or the front yard or different things. This is where a lot of my stick roughage has been going. So kind of my long-term plans for back here is, number one, I'd love to get a wood chipper, because then that can become mulch, which can become future earth and nourishment for the farm. But there's a lot of stuff to clear out. Also kind of figuring out too, like all of these things are adding up, and we definitely are on a limited budget. So yeah, anybody who knows anyone with a wood chipper, give a guy a shout. But as you can see, the fence runs down here. Eventually, I would love to clear all of this out. There's a huge like bouldered rock pile there, probably from, you know, farmers who have been going through this. So there are like rock resources. This is all my land up here, and honestly, probably a little bit of my land into the corn, but that's not a huge deal, I guess. But eventually what I want to do is actually plant trees here, because on the other side of this cornfield is a subdivision. And I know people love a good subdivision, but I don't live in one and I didn't want to live in one. So what I'd love to do is not encroach on the farm space, but then plant kind of some staggered, maybe pine trees or something back here, just to build a little bit of barrier, and also like a little place for our kids to play and stuff like that if they want. Spent the day during my lunch or any free moment scouring kind of like Craigslist and Facebook Marketplace and eBay and all that stuff, looking for U-posts and wire mesh fence. So we don't want like chain link, we want it to actually look kind of nice. But U-posts and wire mesh fence, there's oftentimes things that people just decide they don't want anymore or get rid of. So trying to get that stuff on the cheap. Again, YouTube doesn't pay very much, at least not right now. Also, just realized something. Yesterday, or the last video, I showed you I hung those shelves in here. This is not a wall color we chose in here. There was like this gray literal contact paper, not even wallpaper, like the stuff you kind of like put in like silverware drawers. That was stuck all over the wall. It looked like that little piece right there, like kind of textured. And then up here, because that's gonna go away, you can see there was some crown molding up there. I harvested that for when we redid the fireplace and put it up there, because then you don't have to buy more supplies. But thought it worth mentioning, this is not the final look up here. You have to get a new vent fan, gotta get a new light fixture. We're probably gonna end up putting a, like get new washers and dryers, and eventually. These are perfectly great, so no rush on it here. But get like a wood countertop, maybe some cabinets or something like that, so you can have a folding space and then front-loaded washers and dryers. All right, well, I guess this is any time better than ever just to chat with you guys about this. So God, I hate talking about this stuff. So over the last kind of 6 months since we've been moving and all kinds of stuff going on, a few of you, just like good family members, because that's how we view you guys, are essentially extensions of our family. You give us great advice and tips and support us, right? So even just watching videos, you know, you having notifications turned on and going and watching us when our videos come out, like helps us in the YouTube algorithm, gets the views up, which means ad dollars, which means support for us. So we really appreciate that. It is something we care greatly about, that so many of you support us. But as I was saying, a few of you have commented, noticed, and said, like good family members, like, hey, you're looking a little healthy these days. AKA you've like put on a little weight. And you're not wrong. You're exactly right. It's something I've been deprioritizing, and now that Allison's been going to the doctor so much and doing all of that, it's something that I have to prioritize as well. You know, I think the responsibility of being a dad and having to set a good example. You know, I don't necessarily eat terrible, but I just have zero portion control. So that's my issue. And today has really been the first day where I woke up this morning. I knew I was going to do it today, last night. That's going to end today, because I gotta be around to be there for my son. I went to the doctor the other day. I go back again for like do my readout of all my labs and stuff. But I'm just really appreciative of the love and support that all of you guys give us, the encouragement, and honestly the accountability, because that's what the big deal is for me. So I just wanted to share that with you, you know, just in case my son one day or us in the future watch this. You know, this channel started just documenting our lives and home movies and stuff like that. So this is me doing good on that. Those promises that we made to ourselves, and you know why we're shooting more videos now, just to say like, no, this is something that's important to me and I need to remind myself. So we're going to be seeing more and more of that. I think putting in the farm and continuing to work on the house and stuff like that is going to help the fitness game, but I got to take care of myself in everything else too. So
next time on Rivenel.
Got more toys. I finally found my compost.
Tonight, chicken pineapple quesadillas. Look at that.
I definitely feel like that was one of those situations of which is worth more to you, your time or your money.